Hi everybody, I'm Sable Danielle and I'm a human design coach and sound healer. And today I wanted to hop on here and talk to you guys about my experience attending a human design workshop where I learned from people who know more than me. And it was just a really good experience. And after I talk a little bit, you should understand why your throat center is so important, why it's important to go over your body graph centers, see what's defined, and see how your centers are speaking to you, as well as how they speak to your partner or your loved ones, so that you could get a better understanding of your energy, because it just brings a whole different perspective rather than just like reading about it. So let me dive in so you can get a better understanding of what I'm trying to say. So I attended a workshop that was about human design, and we primarily focus on the throat center. And that's important because the throat center is your voice. That's how you communicate. That's how you manifest. That's how people hear you. That's how you feel about communicating. It's how you show up when you're communicating. And so it's one of the most important centers. All the energy in your chart is moving towards your throat center to manifest, to have a voice, to find a voice. So what we did in this workshop, we were randomly paired with a partner, and we both had 2 minutes uninterrupted while the other person just listened, actively listened, and looked us in our eyes and listened while we spoke. We each had 2 uninterrupted minutes to just talk about our throat center. And then we would switch and the other person would talk. And I loved and hated it at the same time because, one, this is like so uncomfortable for me. Like, I'm a projector. I know that I have a lot to say, but sometimes it's uncomfortable for me to like show up and be seen and talk to people, especially if I don't know people. I can often overthink like what I'm talking about, what I'm going to say. Like, you want me to talk about my throat center? Okay, what do you want me to say about my throat center? What do you want to hear? So once the exercise started, I just went in. I said that I had a defined throat center, and that means that I was born with reliable, consistent energy coming from my throat center. My throat center is defined through channels 17 and 62. I have gates 12 and 62 defined in my throat center. And saying that out loud made me also have to kind of break these things down a little bit more. So I noticed that out of 11 gates within the throat center, I only have 2 defined. And so to me, it makes it make sense as to why speaking is so hard for me, why it feels like it takes so much energy out of me to communicate with people and speak and be comfortable speaking to people. It just kind of like made things click, because my partner, when she was telling me about her throat center, I learned that she had 7 out of the 11 gates defined in her throat center. And she was telling me that she loves to talk. She talks. She has a hard time not talking. She has a hard time like getting people to cut her off, to get her to stop talking. And maybe that's because she has more energy just flowing within her throat center compared to me, who only has 2 centers defined, providing energy. So the 7 defined gates talk a lot more and are comfortable talking a lot more than the 2 defined gates in my throat center. And I've never really compared or had the conversation out loud like that with someone. And so it was just like really eye-opening for me, and I thought it was very helpful to get to know myself and then to also get to know someone else. And it literally was just in a matter of 2 minutes. And we barely even broke the surface of what we could talk about with human design. So that was really beneficial to me. And so I know that I was talking about gates. If you need a reminder, gates are the little numbers that you see inside of each of the centers or the shapes, the numbers inside of the shapes, and they represent personality characteristics, your emotions, your tendencies and patterns that you were naturally born with. So those little numbers are very important in discovering who you are and why you think, how you think, and why certain energies are so strong in you and why they aren't. And then also, so when I took a deeper look into my throat center, looking at gate 12, I told you all that I'm very standoffish when it comes to speaking. It's very uncomfortable for me. I also noticed that gate 12 is called the gate of stillness, the gate of standstill. And throughout my life, I've always hated public speaking. I do much better in intimate settings, in small gatherings, and much better in one-on-one conversations. So that stems from gate 12. I have that defined. And so since I have that consistent energy, those types of feelings stem from gate 12. I was never, even though I have a lot of confidence in the things that I want to say and how I feel about things, I don't necessarily have a lot of confidence speaking them out loud, because I'm always worried about what I'm going to say, or saying things wrong, or how people are going to feel about what I have to say, if they're going to understand what I have to say, if they're going to think I'm crazy, if it's going to come out right, if it's going to come out sounding how I wanted it to sound. Okay, that sounds like a bunch of gibberish just going in circles and circles and circles, causing me to question my own confidence when it comes to speaking and communicating what I want to communicate. And so that stems from gate 12, the gate of standstill. I remember that from a young age, ever since I was a kid up until my mid-20s, I guess, when I started my self-discovery journey, I very much so lived in that consistent energy of gate 12. And so as I continue to talk about human design, you'll find out that there are shadow sides and good sides of each gate. We can get lost in the shadow tendencies of the gate, of the energy of that gate, or we can get lost in the positive energy of that gate. And so right now, for the most part, of course, energy is kind of fluid and interchangeable aside from what we're born with. But right now, I feel like I'm a little more free-flowing with my communication, and just putting it out there and not being scared and not overthinking everything and sitting at a standstill. Before, I definitely was. I was very much so stuck there. So in a nutshell, gate 12, the gate of stillness, naturally makes you cautious and unsure. It's the voice that expresses concern. It focuses on hazards. It's the gate that allows you to naturally get a sense of things that are coming. So you think things through so that you can plan ahead and avoid any mishaps that might happen. You're very cautious. You pay attention to those types of details and things so that you can try to avoid them, avoid disasters in the future. So you just kind of tread lightly. And that all stems from gate 12. So if that resonates with you, check out your chart and see if you maybe have gate 12 defined in your chart, and gate 12 would be in your head center. Also within my circle, I'm the type of person who pays attention to detail. If we're in a restaurant, when we walk out, I'm going to double check and triple check the billfold to make sure nobody forgets their card. If we're going on a road trip or vacation, I'm gonna make sure we have everything that we need, the little things, not everything that we need for the actual trip to function. The little things where it's damn, how could I forget that game that I really wanted to bring? Or how could I forget my laptop charger? Or how could I forget that Bluetooth speaker? I'm gonna try to remember that and figure that out for people. I am also the person who can, I'm sorry, ooh, okay, I thought I had to sneeze. I'm also a person who can hear instructions and easily relay it to other people so that they can understand it and digest it a little bit easier than they could before. Also, when I'm passionate about something, I speak very strongly about it. It can sound kind of like forceful and blunt and direct, and although I don't mean that with negative or malicious intent, that's just kind of how the energy is. And all of that stems from the channel 1762, and that I'm sorry, that stems from channel 1762, and gate 62 within channel 1762 is the gate of express detail. So it's hard for me to be misunderstood. I provide a lot of logical facts behind the things that I'm saying because I pay attention to detail. I honor the details to support my performance or the things that I need to say, the debate that I'm having, the point that I'm trying to prove, I guess. I can always come and back that up with facts. And so that comes from gate 62. If that resonates with you, check out your chart, see if you have gate 62 defined in your chart. Gate 62 basically is just about observing details and paying attention to logic. That's very important to you. So channel 1762 is the channel of the organizer, and that basically is the strategist who looks to find solutions in everything. That energy, like stemming from gate 62, absorbs facts in order to piece things together and form opinions and form thoughts about these things. And so thoughts or expressions coming from that defined channel would sound like, I think this should happen, or I think we should do that, or I don't think that it's a good idea. It's like you're very highly opinionated, and you can kind of sort of have a forceful debating style. So all the things that I've mentioned about like how I communicate and the things that I recognize about myself, I had to say out loud, and I was able to pinpoint them to a specific gate in my human design body graph, and it helps me understand like my communication style. So imagine if you did this exercise with your partner or a loved one so that you guys can both get a clear understanding of how you communicate, why you communicate, how you communicate, where it stems from. You can then figure out how you can either improve those things or take some information away so that you can utilize them within your relationship, and it can just make things run. Oh my God, it's Mercury retrograde. It can just make things run a lot more smooth if you understand how each other communicates and why each other communicates how you do. So yeah, I just feel like I feel like human design is really important, because if make it make sense was a term or a subject, it would be human design, because human design makes everything make sense about myself, and that's really all that I care about in this lifetime. I really love to learn all the little details about myself, and I'm not gonna lie, like I was confused about a lot of my thought patterns and things that I attracted and cycles and habits and like themes in my life until I came across human design, and now it all makes sense. So just think about that. Next time you say make it make sense, you need to go pull up a human design body graph and see what that looks like, and then you can pinpoint all of that information in there and make it make sense to you. Okay, so that's all that I for today about this workshop. Attending this workshop really made me want to attend more because the coach also has to be coached, and it was just a really great experience. I hope that you guys can try that exercise with your partners or your loved ones. Let me know how it goes. Drop a comment below if you feel like that sounds like a good idea, or drop a comment below telling me what your throat chakra, your throat center says about you. That's what you should do. Answer the question, what does your throat center say about you? What does your partner's throat center say about them? And how can you utilize the information that you learn about one another to improve your communication style and improve your relationship? So that's some homework if you want to dig a little bit deeper with that. And remember that if you want to learn your partner on a deeper level, or you want to learn yourself on a deeper level, I do provide human design coaching for individuals and relationships, and you can find all that information in the description box. Go to my website, sabledanielle.com, and you can book an appointment with me, a consultation with me, and we could dive deep and learn all about your energies. And you can also purchase a personalized body graph report, which is over 25 pages of detailed information about the energy that you were born with. You can order that on my website as well. Check the description box, sabledanielle.com. And that's a wrap for today. I hope you all have a great day. Thank you for being here. I'll catch you in the next video. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, drop a comment, and peace and love, y'all. Bye.